They've got all the banter, the channel's a blast. And they've got the world's best comic podcast. Look out, woo! Here comes the panel pals.
Welcome back to Panel Pals. And we've got a very special episode for you today. I'm Skull Ryan.
I'm Moustache. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome back. Today we've got episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Daredevil, Born Again. And this time,
because we were late.
Well, to be fair, there wasn't a lot to discuss in episode 4 aside from one very special returning character.
Yes.
Let's dig our way through. Start with 4, we'll go to 5.
Wilson Fisk's fatness was the returning character, was it?
Young, it's coming back, mate. So, Kingpin of... Cookpin of crime. Right, so... What happened in episode 4?
What I remember was they were both reaching their breaking point.
Yeah, mate. Matt has just seen the system fail. He successfully defended the White Tiger in court, only for White Tiger to get executed by corrupt cops.
And then, pretty lucky actually found the shell of the bullet.
I thought that was quite cool how he did it, though.
I was worried the bike that went past was gonna conveniently hit the bullet.
I was
glad that it wasn't.
It crushes something, it drives over something, and I was like, if that was the bullet, how shit are these crime scene investigators? We followed the pipe down. And what was on that bullet?
Oh, a certain skull logo.
Not mine. It wasn't me. I did not murder the White Tiger.
I want you to dress up as Skull Ryan. You wear these badges and paint the vest.
Make the suit, Melvin. I know it's not this season, but I thought that was a cool idea back when they did season 3 of the original Daredevil show, having it be Bullseye in the Daredevil suit. Because in the actual comic story of Born Again, it's just some random, lunatic, isn't it?
I don't think it is Daredevil. But it's weird because, they took a bit from that run later on where Bullseye does wear it and he goes a bit fucking mental. It doesn't, it sucks because that was his first outing, because then you miss out on a certain aspect of the story that I always thought was cool, where Bullseye starts to forget who he is. He's like, wait, am I actually Daredevil? So if I remember correctly, Matt puts on a Bullseye costume, I think, to fight him.
Really swapped, don't they?
And then because he's confusing fucking Lester even more, and he has no fucking clue who he is. It's funny.
Bullseye's an absolute psychopath, dude. When he's got the brain tumor and he sees everyone as Daredevil. How cute that was, mate.
Like you said when I sent you Lego Marvel, if only they made Bullseye when you switched to him, every civilian just as Daredevil.
Batman's detective vision.
Yeah, Bullseye's got Daredevil vision.
Everyone's Daredevil.
I hope he returns soon.
Yeah, same, dude. Well, now that Daredevil's back, maybe he'll see it on. I think it's The Dark Knight Returns, where Joker's just in prison, and then he Batman's back. It might be one of them. A trailer, smashing it. He's got his own tooth in his mouth, and he's going to start using it to escape. Obviously,
it's so cool, man. I think they actually got such a good actor for Bullseye.
He was going to be Captain America. He auditioned for.
Was it Wilson Bethel? Is his name?
Mate. Years ago, he auditioned to play Captain America. Obviously, it went to Chris Evans, but I'm glad they brought him back for this shit because it's boss. But
he's so good.
issue 181, where Bullseye escapes prison by spitting a painkiller into a guard's eye. I reckon they're doing that, but well, even like I said to you the other day, in a Captain America issue for Streets of Poison, Bullseye smashes his own head against the wall because they've got him in prison, and his cell is just a sheet on the floor because they won't give him anything that they can use. Like all his food is just mash. He's not allowed.
I remember the mash part. I remember he's not allowed anything.
Nothing. So what he does is he smashes his face against the wall until a tooth comes out, and then spits it in a guard's eye. Gets hold of his gun, and he's gone.
That's what I love in the Devil in Cell Block D, when everyone's like freaking out because Bullseye's being transferred over to the general population, and everyone's just sort of fucking freaking out, and he's sitting there in his cell like tied up. He's got that like mask on to stop him from like doing anything with his mouth. Straight jacket, fucking massive gurney strapped to it. It's like everyone is scared shitless of this man.
Yeah, dude.
What about when in there's a Punisher issue? He's got his fucking binoculars, and Bullseye's across, and he's like says something to him, but he can't hear him.
Oh
and then Frank takes off the Punisher and it hits him in the head. And he's like, "I said dodge," or like duck.
It's in Punisher versus Bullseye. Yeah. I was reading the other day Thunderbolts, and the way Norman Osborn keeps Bullseye under control is he's injected him with just like 1 million nanobots, and he's got 3 lives. If he disobeys orders, the first like buzz will paralyze Bullseye. The second one will give him brain damage, and the third one will just he's done. And Norman says, he's like, do you know what it's like to be absolutely paralyzed, Bullseye? And Bullseye's like, yeah. Shits himself. Because it cuts back to roulette.
But this one, I can't remember exactly how he came back from this. But in the Mark Waid run, he was a vegetable.
Yeah, he's in like a metal iron lung, isn't he?
I hate when I'm trying to guess who could it be? How am I supposed to guess fucking Bullseye?
Yeah, if he can't throw something, now you're meant to know it's him. Unless he can see his forehead.
Like, completely. He was drooling the whole time as well. It's really weird. But what did you think of episode 4? I only thought the Frank part was good.
Yeah, mate. But I thought the Frank bit was really good. Like, excuse me. Just the argument again. Where he's taking the piss, like, thank you for your service. Like, giving him sad. The main thing I thought was cool, Frank actually called him Bullseye. He didn't call him Poindexter. Didn't call him Dex or Benjamin.
And Bullseye's breathing the same air as you.
Yeah, and I was like, no fucking way. They've got his code name in the show. Because they're so scared to do that, mate.
So I think it's weird how, like, in the Netflix show and in this show, no one has a proper costume, but then Muse is, like, 1-for-1 comic accurate. It's like, I mean, I'm happy that Muse looks like Muse, but why did he get that special treatment for and not, like, Daredevil himself?
Yeah, mate, and Muse gets, like, he looks like a supervillain, while in the other one, you didn't have the owl. You had Leland Owlsley. Like, he never went full supervillain.
I think, honestly, though, in episode 6, he should have had a new suit with the double D on it when he says, fuck it.
That bit was great, yeah.
It would have been perfect just to give him the logo then.
Right. Because he has been born.
It's like that should be his earning it moment. Like, he's back now. I thought, though, I did like Kingpin. As, like, boring as some of the mayor scenes can be, my favorites are when he's, like, losing his shit.
Oh, yeah, with the leak.
Yeah, but even, like, we built this city, and then he's like, oh, we got another song. Oh, no. He fucking bolts out the room, and then he goes to the was it what was it, like the Latvia?
Yeah, it was like
I thought they
Latvian.
said Latveria. I thought it was like, oh my god, Doctor Doom.
It's coming.
But then and then they start singing in their language. He just looked fucking livid, mate.
The same song as well. Like, is that his
Yeah,
theme
'cause
song? So I thought the key bits, seeing Kingpin slowly, like, it's a facade, isn't it? He's not actually this dignified mayor. He's a criminal, and he's slowly slipping back into it. Like, all the mayor scenes are boring, but then at the very end, when it reveals he does know where Adam is.
Yeah. I love how earlier as well he's like talking to Heather and Vanessa about how he calmly and respectfully dealt with it. And he's like, "Oh,
Yes.
we went our separate
We had
ways. I don't know where he is.
And then at the
Let
very
me
end,
out. Let me out."
got him trapped. And just the reveal where he's like, the highest form of love is forgiveness. Wouldn't you agree, Adam? And you're like, oh, fuck. He's got him.
Doesn't he like also say, doesn't like Adam say something about the food? And then Kingpin like corrects him on what it is?
No, he calls him Mr. Fisk, and then Kingpin goes, Mayor Fisk. But these episodes, we saw them slipping. Like, at that scene in episode 6 where he's trying to like get funding or something, and they're all disrespecting him. And obviously,
I wanted to ask you this. Do you think that was the Stormwind's siblings?
Oh, it could have been. The fellow with the mustache was in Hawkeye.
Swordsman?
He was the swordsman. Yeah, he was what's her name? Kate Bishop's like stepdad.
Yeah. I saw your mother.
The actual swordsman was when that fellow was talking about vigilantes and the BB report, and he was like, "Look at this video they sent me." In my heart, I was like, "Is it Spider-Man?" No, fucking swordsman.
He's not even wearing a costume, man. He's still got the stupid.
He was also in that Thunderbolts issue I was reading the other day. But yeah, he's not in any costume. You can, if he wasn't holding his sword, it could have been anyone.
Yeah, I love how that's the giveaway, though.
He's got a sword. Do you reckon he's gonna get rinsed by the task force?
Oh, there's no way a fucking sword's gonna do shit against 20 like guns trained right on him.
Right.
Did you because with the Stormwinds,
yeah,
my thought process was, you know, like they had the white hair, but they weren't really old, and they were both together, and they both were chatting shit to Wilson about how, in the grand scheme of things, he means nothing.
And they still make the decisions.
And I was like, yeah, that should be the Stormwinds.
Yeah,
I was hoping for it anyway.
Ooh.
And then, we'll get episode 4 out of the way.
Yeah.
Episode 5. Episode 4 we already said. Good Punisher part. The rest.
Yeah, the rest is a bit slow.
Episode 5.
Absolutely.
It's definitely pre-rehaul.
Yeah. For those who don't know, halfway through making Daredevil Born Again, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio went to Kevin Feige and said, "Listen, this is turning out a bit shit. Can we do something? Can we make it actually like Daredevil, please?"
Unfortunately, John Bernthal didn't agree to even appear.
Yeah, the initial script, John Bernthal was like, "This isn't this is shit. This is. Let me tell you something, Feige. This is." So they've shook it up.
Well, that ain't happening.
Penny and die. So they shook it up.
I'm so happy they changed it, though, because just to have them, all of them back is so important. Where's his mother?
Sister Maggie.
Yeah, where the fuck is
God
she?
knows where she gets referenced in it, but where the hell?
The episode was like, it was alright, I mean, for a filler episode, it was fine.
It was one of
I
them
was just,
all episodes when it's all in the same location. You could tell it was as if they'd ran out of money and they were like, well, we could shoot one just set in this one bank. There's not a lot of visual effects.
it's like, do
Most
people care
expensive
about
thing.
St. Patrick's Day?
What?
I never see anyone dress up.
No, mate, it's not really a thing in England either that I've seen. But
And it's like, it just felt like an excuse to just sort of shoehorn a certain character into the show.
mate, the most expensive thing in this episode was custom making the Miss Marvel Funko Pop. Everything else, the criminals had like shit masks, and it was just a bank robbery.
I just hate how forced it was. Like, he is showing Matt for a solid 10 seconds a Funko Pop. Like, he can see.
At least Matt was like, I'm not familiar, instead of being like, oh, dude, Miss Marvel, my favorite superhero.
You know how wrong it feels when you watch the show and you hear Funko Pop?
Oh, I know, yeah, mate. I'm not a fan of them anyway, myself.
They're all cheap, just reuse.
They're all the exact same thing.
But also, Kamala's dad was a bit stupid in one scene where Matt's about to talk to the leader and he almost jumps in.
Yeah.
And then Matt has to look at him like, you actual moron. You waited till I pressed the fucking button.
I thought it was cool how he unlocked the safe using just his super hearing.
And they did that cliche of like, you're never going to do it. I don't understand how you're going to do it. And then he's using his power to do the exact thing they're saying he's not going to do.
What? What's this diamond? Like, no one's mentioned this magical diamond.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, it's just a gem? Literally, yeah, it's just for this entire episode. It has no meaning.
There's this whole thing about one of the gangsters owing another gangster $1.8 million. But he already had the key to... One of the men already had the key to the diamond, so instead of doing a bank robbery to get the diamond, why didn't they just go in and go, I'd like to retrieve the diamond from my safety deposit box, please?
But then I don't think it was linked to that as well. Because the diamond was only was it worth like 10 grand or something? I couldn't remember what the price tag was. But it just felt like there was no real, even for like some filler episodes linked directly to the story. This had nothing.
No, this was
They tried to force it into the next one by having like, look, flashbacks, but it didn't mean shit.
They even say in the description for this is like, a normal day for Matt Murdock gets interrupted. They're like, what a waste! Like, what a waste of everyone's time. This was nowhere. You can tell as well it was pre-rehaul because there's no Wilson Fisk and there's no BB report, which has been
there wasn't any yet.
Recent, like all the other episodes have had pretty heavy-handed BB reports, and now in this one there's just nothing. It was pure Matt. But
also, like, I wonder if it was hard just to at least say to Charlie and go, hey, we just got to like film you do this scene real quick. Have him just sort of maybe do some thinking at least of recent events.
Oh God, yeah, but he was so chipper and he was so cheerful. When in every other episode he's been like, ready to snap.
But like after the bank robbery, maybe just have a scene where he's like thinking about what he just did to make it feel like more cohesive, rather than just shoehorn that into the flashbacks of the next episode.
In this show, the first time he went back to violence after Foggy died was because them two policemen were gonna kill him and he had no choice, and that's why he does that raw scream at the end of episode 2. But in this one, it's like the fella's getting away. He beats the shit out of him, but then he doesn't even like it doesn't bother him all of a sudden.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, it's so. It makes me wonder What was the original show actually going to be like?
I heard it was like episodic. Like they would have all been little day in the life ofs with the
No, I was gonna say
occasion.
like Daredevil wouldn't wear the suit to like the last episode or something, like halfway through it, or more than
Yeah,
halfway.
it was definitely the right choice releasing 5 and 6 at the same
I
time.
would have been so pissed, man.
It would have
Like
put me off if this was all we got this week.
even 4 felt like a bit of like, well, that was disappointing.
Yeah, except for the Frank bits, 4 was very like slow.
Is that it?
We can only
You know?
see so much sad Matt before he gets up and does something. What do you reckon of Hector's niece?
I think she's annoying.
I think it was very like, why? What was she expecting the blind man to do?
Against the serial killer who has murdered over 60 people.
Yeah. Like, I can't go to the cops, fair play, because, you know, the police did just kill you superpowered up. If it's a blood thing, shouldn't the white... I know they're obviously building towards there being White Tiger, but shouldn't the amulet already work for it? If it's a blood relative thing.
I'm trying to... Okay, wait. Is she... What's her name, though? Because remember, there's 2 female... black...
In the comic,
not black,
Del
white tigers.
Toro.
Oh, so you're telling me that they... Isn't that the FBI agent?
Yeah, in the comic.
And doesn't she get killed?
Oh, I don't know. In the
Doesn't
Bender
Lady
show, she's
Bullseye
just
kill her?
approached him to say, I'm surprised her rate he's killed everyone else. But in this, I don't remember her name, it's just something Ayelet.
But she's like 10 in the show.
She's very young, yeah, mate. And like, what was she going to do against Muse? If she's not at least got the Tiger Talisman that gives her super strength, what was she expecting to do against Muse?
Because doesn't everyone like apparently like the Ava White Tiger?
Yeah, that's who I thought this was meant to be.
Because she's young. And isn't she meant to be like young? And they chose the adult FBI agent. But
yeah,
made her into the... What the fuck are they doing? Oh, it's so confusing, man.
I think they are building towards her being White Tiger because obviously she's come back since her uncle's died. The fact it surprised me she was like what sets them off into going back and being Daredevil. I thought we were kind of done with it.
I just, you know, you watch the old show and you think, wow, they all have such good chemistry. Like Matt, Karen, Foggy, fucking whoever. And then here it's like, wow, they have no chemistry. Like Matt doesn't seem like he likes Kirsten or fucking Cherry or his own girlfriend.
Nice.
It's just a bit. That part's really disappointing.
Speaking of Cherry, episode 5 brought back his partner, who I thought might have been Yuri Watanabe, but then she just wasn't.
Oh yeah. She was even annoying to me as well. Like she was like an asshole to I know like they're robbing a bank. Like why do they deserve respect? But like you gotta sort of like, you know.
You gotta play the game a bit.
Yeah, she's being a complete dick to them. And he's like, well, I'll just kill the fucking hostages. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, okay. So,
oh, anyone know a joke? Yeah, she's winding them up when they've got a gun to an innocent person's head, and it's like, all right, love, I mean, relax.
When they're gonna like, the other guy was like, we're gonna storm in, and then she's like, oh, but innocents could be caught in the crossfire. Like you did nothing to really stop that.
Yeah,
you're trying to make him laugh, and she does a fucking leprechaun joke to the Irish guy.
He does the accent, mate. It's like, whoa.
Is that Nightwing's landlady? No fucking way. What was her name again? I fucking forgot.
No. It was like a boy's name. Clancy.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole episode, I know, like, I understand how rights work, and I know he's not going to show up. But the whole episode, I'm thinking, there's a high-profile bank robbery in the middle of the day. Where the fuck is Spider-Man? Meant to be defending New York. Where the fuck are you, dude? There was
I
even...
mean, like, it's so tiring being a Spider-Man fan.
We're so in the shit now, dude. Like, there was even a brief... I do it to myself, if I'm honest. Like, the first time he says... When that fella said, look at this video the dude sent me, and my heart for a second fluttered, because even though Tom Holland's shit, I still like seeing Spider-Man in action. So, like, when the dude's like, look at this vigilante video they sent me, and I'm expecting to see a flash of red and blue or something. No, it was the swordsman.
Like, they could have had, like, webbing, you know, a guy webbed to a lamppost or just anything.
Exactly, dude. They could have even reused, like, that Silvermane footage from Far From Home they never used, where he's, like, dancing around, kicking ass in the bar.
Just do, like, shitty CGI to make it look like the red and blue suit.
Just show us where he catches the bus from Civil War, because that's not even from a Spider-Man film. Marvel owns that footage. But anyway.
Sony is the biggest dogs ever. I don't even, like, at this point, I think I don't understand why Disney just doesn't say, what do you want for Spider-Man? Just fucking buy him.
Yeah. Disney should just buy rights and then fucking bin everything else.
But you don't reckon that Spidey books being so shit isn't, like, Disney's way of getting back at Sony?
Maybe, because they did that to X-Men, didn't they?
Yeah, like when they did that to X-Men, it's like this is just them saying, fuck you, Sony.
I think you're onto something there, mate. When the Inhumans took over for, like, fucking 2 years.
It's... Because it can't be, like... You'd think, like, one person working at Spider-Man, or on Spider-Man, would actually like the character.
You'd think, but... Long gone, dude.
It's so depressing. Fucking hell.
All I ever wanted at the MCU was a Spider-Man Daredevil team up, and I'm not gonna get it. I'll get a brief, like, second in Doomsday or whatever, with Daredevil going, like, nice tights, and then it'll... That's it.
There's gonna be, you know, it's like even more annoying if they do Devil's Reign, in the season 2.
Yeah.
They can't be Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's gonna be Jessica Jones.
Mate, just make it a fucking film so then you can say we're using Spider-Man. If that was like the thing where it's like season 2 Devil's Reign or Devil's Reign movie so you can have Spidey, I'm having Spidey in the film any day of the week.
Literally, mate. Or can we make it Andrew Garfield's?
Give him the I don't even give a shit if he wears Tom's new suit. Just have Andrew as the fucking Spidey.
It fits, dude. You can say, instead of doing Tom Holland, we could have just transitioned Andrew Garfield in. The reason all them cranes are in New York in The Amazing Spider-Man, where he swings to Oscorp, that's because aliens just invaded in the Avengers and fucked up. It all fits.
2012, they're both the same time, aren't they?
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man can happen like a few months after the Avengers, where the city's just getting back to normal. But no,
Mate, I'd hate to pay taxes in that city.
That's why they all turn supervillain. Gotta rob a bank to pay your poll tax.
Imagine finishing the night shift and you see the Hulk fucking throw your car and miss.
Daredevil comic where she's like, Spider-Man threw my car at the Rhino. Fuck superheroes. Okay. Meanwhile, Dr. Doom would, like, rule us all, if not for Mr. Fantastic, but okay, pal. Fuck superheroes.
I like the thought, though, if they actually miss the villain.
Yeah, he missed. Yeah, no, fuck. It's pointless.
It just makes it, like, 10 times better. Because you imagine, like, seeing that, though? Like, just the sheer pain it would be.
Your license plate, like, spins out next to you. That's Episode 6, though, dude.
The good shit. Let's go. Yeah.
Finally. So, obviously, mate, the devil dares once more.
Did you notice in the Kingpin thing I did where like Kingpin asked, "Does anyone want to make a grandstand?" And I said, "Someone dares to stand
Ooh,
against the Kingpin."
the man
Like,
himself, dude.
do you think this man ever got bullied and got called Daredevil?
Called Daredevil, mate. We'll find out when season 2 adapts Deathstalker's mum.
But no, they should. The season 2 adapts his childhood bully needing a lawyer for joining a white supremacist fucking group.
Yes. We need to go
Recently
right.
returned Foggy's like, "Oh my god, Matt, what's wrong?" And he's like, "No, it can't be."
Yeah, we used to call him Daredevil because he was a little fucking blind Daredevil. A lot of F words in this show, mate. When he accuses that cop whose name I don't know as killing Hector, and he's like, "You can't see this badge because you're fucking blind, but this is my badge. I wear with honor."
I did laugh when the robber called him Stevie Wonder.
And he's like, "Excuse me."
he does it so well, man. He does it so well. When he just like he's like pretending to not know what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking to me? We got a fucking blind one on our hands.
So he's like, "Jesus, you're a blind solicitor orphan." Like a little Charles Dickens character, aren't you?
When he said that, I thought about it like, huh. Yeah, that does sound a bit stupid.
He's got some shit going on, doesn't he? Evelyn, I don't know if he's from the comics, but he kind of salvaged episode 5 for me because he was quite funny. The main,
He had a bit of charisma to him.
yeah.
And what about like the one wearing the purple mask? What are you thinking, like, or the green one? Are you thinking Sin Eater?
Mate, in the trailer, whenever we're shown that the fellas, I was like, "That's Sin Eater," and I thought it was them breaking Bullseye out of court or some shit. He's like, you see a dude in the colourful ski mask with a shotgun, and you're like, "It's the fucking Sin Eater."
Yeah.
Then,
It's the set. Like the guy in the green mask is the closest thing we are ever gonna get to Sin Eater like being in live action.
but like what I sent you the other day, I was rewatching season 2, and one of the policemen in charge of a Punisher crime scene is Carter, and I was like, "No fucking way! It's Stan Carter, the Sin
I
Eater."
was so upset when I sent you that photo saying like his name's
It was
Clyde
Frank,
Farnham.
yeah, like Mr. Farnham, and we're like the Master Marauders in the
Yeah,
MCU.
like
No,
what gave it away was when he was saying about all the dead bodies piling up, and he said, "Oh,
yeah,
like Farnham." I'm like, "Oh, wait, what?" And I'm
nah,
like, "Oh, it's the guy from episode like 1."
yeah. He's on the Union Allied like pay list.
Then he does like he's got the guys watching his daughter or some shit. Like,
Yeah,
but also
absolutely.
the Irish leader guy, I don't think he's gonna be walking for a while.
Oh fucking hell, no, dude.
Even the kick was fucking brutal.
Matt doesn't fuck around, dude. He's not lost it in like his year away.
Mate, he leaped from one end of the rail to the other.
And landed full bore on the fucker's leg. Oh,
Mate, I love how like because I always play Daredevil really loud when I'm watching the new episodes.
yeah.
So the speaker was just like it blasted. I was like, oh fuck. And then the kick as well. Like that guy could have got brain damage.
Yeah, fucking hell, dude. I've googled Devil in Marvel, but all that comes up is the MCU fella. Someone from I think X-Men.
Did Matt just leave him there, like to die?
I think so. How did Matt know that the candy was the same color as the gem.
Because he didn't tell what's his face, did he?
Yusuf.
Yeah, he
No,
didn't
because
tell
he
him, did he?
snuck it back in to his candy bowl at the end.
Also, how lucky was it that he found that? What happened if he just never found it and like
And then
some guy's like, yeah, I'll take a lolly, and then just
this
takes a
guy's like, oh,
freaking
okay.
diamond.
But also, Matt refused a candy. Where did it come from? At the start, it's like candy, and he like shuffles his hand on it so Matt can like sense where it is. But Matt goes, no, Daredevil, no. So it's like, where the fuck did he get the candy from to make the change?
Maybe he using the symbiote because he's doing his like.
Black suit, baby.
This is the beginning of the symbiote for Daredevil, actually, where it starts off with the lolly. It takes the lolly out and puts it in his pocket. In other words, it just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Episode 5, you can't even skip it, can you? Because it's like vital for the next episode where she's like, you were in a bank robbery. Was I? Oh, yeah.
Matt just forgets.
Let's not talk about episode 5. That was pre-rehaul. This episode gets better in his like She-Hulk days. Like when he appeared in She-Hulk and he was more chipper and he was all very like playful. Like if this had until Bullseye come and killed Foggy, Matt was like content with life. He was kicking ass as a superhero and all that shit. And this episode was
I just hate that like
it doesn't flow.
I hate like the Arkham games. There's so many years that we don't see of our hero.
There was a full like 8 years. When did season 3 end? 2015.
Now was 17, I think.
And there's about 8 years time of Daredevil being a crime fighter that we're just never going to see.
Yeah, it's like we missed out on so much. Because Bullseye is fully established now.
Yeah.
At the end of season 3, he got his surgery.
Yeah, he got his like adamantium spine.
I love though just when I like there's a GIF that always goes around of episode 1. And I just love seeing it of when like Matt's going like why, and then fucking Bullseye's laughing in his face.
And he taps his shoulder.
It's like when Green Goblin does it to Spidey in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, pats him on the head. Here's the real truth.
Oh, William Dafoe is so good. Oh, before we get to the good episode, if William Dafoe could play any character in Daredevil, who would you have him as?
Ooh.
Stick. Could you imagine?
Imagine him telling you off. Let's have a think if we got. Well, we've already cast the fellow who plays Squidward as Stiltman.
Yeah, Roger Bumpers.
That's the one. We've already got a gladiator. I'd make him
Gladiator,
like
by the way.
a ski. Yeah, bring back gladiator, dude. I'd make him like an enemy lawyer.
Like someone who's just a fucking pain in Matt's ass. Like what Hochberg was.
Yeah.
The Hawk.
I'm trying to think any other villain will just get overshadowed by him being like Willem fucking Dafoe.
I'm trying to think of like who's like just an old skinny crazy man in Daredevil.
Mike Sims, War Chief.
Yeah, yes. With fucking Jason Momoa.
That
when AI is like super powerful, we gotta make a movie of that.
Yeah, mate.
Just to see what it'd be like.
Do you remember that fan cast of like Joe Manganiello as Micah Sin?
Oh, the fucking in the fandom thing.
Yeah.
And doesn't like Mask Marauder just have like a Zemo sort of like?
It was a recolor in Zemo, yeah, dude.
So, episode 6.
Hell yeah.
I did think that maybe the first half of the episode did drag on a little bit. Because I think it's because we're like waiting for it. Like we're waiting for like, okay, when are they gonna snap?
I think they've went too long before giving him the suit. Like with 6
How
episodes.
many episodes are left?
I think there's either 9 or 12.
There's not much time left. If it's 9, that's fucking sad.
Oh Christ! Because a lot of the subplots don't really feel connected, do they? All we've got is Fisk's obviously going to go back to crime. Matt's back to being Daredevil and this task force. But everything else is a bit disconnected.
Mate, what a character assassination of Detective Cole North.
Oh, I know, dude.
My eyes could not believe it. When I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's North, isn't it? I remember the set photos. I was like, oh, fuck.
The cop version of North. Not only would he never work for the Kingpin, but he'd never join this vigilante task force because he hates vigilantes. But it's so obvious that this is actually just Fisk, like empowering people who'll do what he wants.
Even the guy that got his ass kicked, even he goes like, why us?
Yeah. But it's a bit like what they did with Sharon Carter in Captain America. Like, she was the love interest, wasn't she, after Thingy died? When Peggy's not dead.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was the power broker in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, in the comics, she's like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and she's a bit of a hero, but now she's actually like the drug dealing supervillain.
And useless at the same time.
Yeah. So
it's just like, yeah, I hope that they don't. I like, people say, oh, he could be undercover. Like, yeah, but I don't know what the odds are for that one.
We've not met him before to like get a sense of the real person he is before going undercover. So
yeah, that's fair. You have no clue. The most you've got is like, oh, he looks somewhat confused.
Yeah. So like with these twists, you've got to kind of not telegraph them, but you've got to give at least a little hint. Like, for example, in episode 5, the girl who ends up working, being the inside woman for the bank robbers, says, I bet they're after the diamonds. And they were after the diamonds, so it's like it's a bit of a hint that she knows more than she's letting on. Now, if you can't just show...
Yeah.
It won't be a twist so much if Cole suddenly betrays the task force, because we've not seen enough of him to get an idea that he might do that. You know what I mean?
It's straight, like, you can't just have him be a corrupt cop as his first outing. His first outing in the comics was him like trying to kick Daredevil's ass.
Yeah, he was doing his job in the comic. Well, in this, he's apparently already murdered someone for not admitting to a crime.
Unless, like, yeah, like the only hope is that the commissioner or the chief or whatever was like put his name there on purpose to go undercover. Yeah. I doubt it, because but even the other corrupt cop looked confused, which cancels out North looking confused.
Yeah, unless they're all undercover cops and no one. They all think they're the only fucking good guy on the team. But
it's
even
also like, sorry.
Even the cop who arrested Hector has already had a bit of, like, not redemption, but he was telling the truth when he told Matt he had nothing to do with it. So even he's kind of but like, could he be redeemed as well? Because at least he didn't kill White Tiger.
Then it's hard because it's like he was going to kill Matt with the other guy.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's like you were going to kill the lawyer to stop White Tiger from getting proven innocent, but then you wouldn't kill White Tiger after the fact. It's very flip-floppy on whether he's a villain or not.
Stick to killing the disabled guy. Yeah, that's great, guys.
Yeah. So, dude, episode 6, slow start. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what even happened at the start because I just remember from the kickoff.
So, Muse's paintings, Kingpin wants them down.
Yeah.
But then they're like, remember the guy that wouldn't shut the fuck up, and even like the other one was getting sick of his shit.
He won't come down.
Yeah, because they're made of blood. So it is interesting how in the comics, Muse's first appearance was like, fuck, he painted a giant blood mural on this canvas. And everyone wanted to see it. Whereas this one, it's more just like graffiti art. It's a bit sad how...
Until they check it's blood. Well, in the comic, you're like, oh, fuck, that's blood. And in this one, you're like, oh,
but
cool.
Even just his artwork, I think, isn't as dynamic as the comics. Like, in this, it's just graffiti work. In the comics, it was paintings, it was fucking... Mate, he turned 10 fingers into a hand of 10 fingers. He killed a bunch of Inhumans and made them all posed as humans. It's like, he got creative in the comics. Whereas here, it's just sort of like... It's more of like his second appearance, like in the other story, where he's like just sort of painting, like, I am not a crook.
Yeah.
And the Punisher one is like, you hate me, or you love me, but hate me.
In this, if the Kingpin hadn't have, like, demanded they take down the graffiti, no one would have noticed that he was killing people to do his art.
And he doesn't talk. Muse in the comics fucking yaps.
Yeah, because he's an artist and he wants people to hear what he's got to say about, like...
I love how in his first appearance, like, the first words he says is like, did you like my work?
Yeah. The fact in this he went for, like, creepy silent serial killer, it's kind of sucked a bit of charm out of him.
Yeah, like, it's relying heavily on the actor's movements. And I do think, luckily, the actors done like a good job with making him creepy through his expressions.
Where the camera followed him.
Oh, that was fucking sick.
That was like, ooh, that reminded me of in the comic where he's like crawling on the walls, chasing black. Yeah. I was like, oh fuck, he's getting spooky. But I still like him to be talking about how only he sees the beauty in murder or whatever the fuck.
But I love when they're talking, like they're all talking about there's a serial killer on the loose, the paintings, and then Wilson Fisk is just losing his mind slowly. And then he just goes,
because he knows how this crime shit's done, dude. I like when he goes like, when the sanitation department realizes there's a serial killer before the police, something's got to be done.
Yeah, he's saying like, you guys couldn't even do your fucking job properly.
The trouble is... Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think Kingpin's spiral is slightly more interesting than Matt's, just because, like, you're seeing this man who's pretending to be an upmodel citizen just slowly lose his shit with every mundane thing he has to do. Like, even when he's like throwing a temper tantrum, like, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah.
White collar event.
It's more interesting watching a bad man pretend to be good than watching a great man pretend to be good. If you know what I mean? Like,
it's like Matt's just regressing being a hero.
Matt is repressing himself while Kingpin's actively like trying to present himself as something he's not. And it's well more.
And he's getting fatter, mate.
Oh yeah, dude, he's building up to being the Kingpin once more.
He's gotta, you know how like Daredevil's gotta earn the double D, and he's gotta earn the costume in the fucking Billy Club. He's gotta earn the weight.
Put him back in that white suit for the finale, dude.
Oh, I couldn't believe it, mate. Like, it was so funny to me. It ripped on impact. It's fucking crazy.
Well, when he's being Wilson Fisk, like in episode 1 where it first shows him, and he's eating like a tiny egg. Like, he's dieting when he's Wilson Fisk, but when he's the Kingpin, like in episode 4 where he goes down into the basement and he's got like a sausage pasta dinner.
Oh, yeah, he had a pretty... I didn't even clock on that he had like an actual big meal.
Yeah, so like when he's Kingpin, he's fucking getting them calories in, but when he's Mayor Fisk, he's dieting, he's thinner, he's, you know. So we're definitely building back up to chunky enemy Fisk.
I thought in like episode 2, they were hinting at Kingpin getting fat when he was eating that roll thing to impress the police guy.
Piece of his family.
But then he went like, oh, after he's like, this fucking, it's disgusting.
I
don't lie, you fat ass. You like that shit. I know he did like a Squidward, you know, where he's like, he buries it.
Yeah.
And he's like, as soon as everyone walks out of the office, he just quickly digs it out of the bin.
Yes, he's in the bin, digging through the bin for his butty.
You know, as a standout for me?
Go ahead.
Minus the fact he doesn't talk. They recreated "Are you Muse? Can we get a selfie?" I was like, "Oh my god, don't do it!" It actually, at least though in this, it makes more sense in the comics because, in the comics, like it's known he's a fucking serial killer. Whereas in this, it's like a mysterious, like, graffiti artist. It's like, yeah, it makes sense that you'd want to like
don't know that he's killing people for it yet, as Fisk says. So you're right, yeah. In this, he's just...
And they even got scared? They got scared by just looking at him, where the other people, like, saw him and went, can we get a photo?
You're like, oh my god, it's me. Oh my god, it's Carnage. Can we get a selfie? Mr. Cassidy? Yeah, sure. Why the fuck would you do that?
That's what I like, though. Like, they actually showed the two girls get scared by his bloody eyes.
Yeah.
Because it would be fucking terrifying if you saw that in, like, the dark alleyway.
Yeah, mate.
And he didn't even waste any time. He just fucking lunged right at them.
Yeah, in the comic, he's like, yeah, sure. He gets the photo. And then he's like, yup. He's like working his way up to them in this. The second they approach, he's like, right, you're getting stabbed.
He doesn't waste a fucking second. He even left the bodies at the mural, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, their eyes were cut out. It was fucking gruesome.
Yeah, mate, he's on the ball with it.
I think there's a small chance he might have some powers.
In the comic, he was like a black void, wasn't he? He's like the absence. Yeah. That's why Daredevil can't really sense him too well. But he must sense him pretty damn well in this. While I'm on the topic, dude, when Muse hears like the chain jangle, goes out, has a look at the train running, and you can see Daredevil sprinting at him at the corner of his eye. You're like, oh, fuck. Imagine being a serial killer in New York, mate. You're doing an okay job. You've had about like 60 plus murders and you've got away with it. Suddenly, Daredevil's out of retirement for you. You're like, oh, fuck.
Right. I will say, though, for as much shit as the show gets for cinematography, I absolutely adore the shot of Muse looking like what's in the distance and the red lights shine on his eyes. That scene is so cool. Like, he looks so demonic. It's insane.
Yeah, mate. I thought the fight scene was dead good as well.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like there's a bit more to Muse because he's like fighting toe to toe with Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he escapes like in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, mate. Daredevil doesn't like even hear him getting up. He is like a silent loony, isn't he? I love that.
There has to be something.
Got to have something to him, defo. Whether or not they'll make him inhuman, because I'm not sure if they even exist in the MCU. But I love during the fight how Matt let him get a few hits in to get that adrenaline pumping again. Like, relive the glory days.
You know what was my favorite thing?
Go ahead.
I think, for some reason, some people didn't like it, but I thought it was, honestly, with the way the show is and the story they're trying to tell, it was fucking perfect. The way that they timed and framed both Wilson and Matt's return perfectly in sync.
Yeah,
and the way that these two fucking titans are so intensely intertwined with each other that they fight in the exact same way. I'm like, this is peak fucking Daredevil.
Where Fisk gave Adam the hatchet and he was like, come at me, see how it goes.
He's like, a weapon can even the playing field. Fucking still bashes the shit out of him.
He talks about how, like, obviously Wilson Fisk's father was a huge motivator for him. And remember, his dad was obviously a lot bigger than him, but he took him down with a hammer. So it's a bit like he's given Adam the chance that Wilson himself had back when he was a kid. You know what I mean? To take down his aggressor. Cool. It is fucking cool.
When Kingpin went for the headbutt and then it cuts perfectly to Matt headbutting Muse.
Yeah, mate.
I was like, oh fuck, this is so good.
Like we were saying the other day, it's just as much about the Kingpin as it is about Daredevil. It's called Daredevil, but the Wilson Fisk is like the other main character.
Yeah, and he always has been, really. It's paralleled so well.
But these two have always been, even after the years of them not being in the MCU, after the original Daredevil got cancelled, I'm pretty sure it was the exact same day that these two returned, because when Hawkeye come out with their episode with Wilson Fisk, I'm sure it was the same day that No Way Home come out, which was obviously when Matt Murdock also returned to the MCU. They were both like back to back.
It was very similar timing, but also Frank or John Bernthal returned like exactly however many years since his debut in that episode, in episode 4.
Yeah.
So that was also pretty cool.
Nice, dude. Is that when season 2 debuted? And
yeah, like his first appearance mirrored his return perfectly.
Nice. Sick, dude.
Did you think this has been my only complaint for the episode besides the start was the ending felt rushed. Like he says fuck it, but we don't see him suit up and we don't see him find Muse.
Yeah, mate, I was expecting like a slow, like zooming on him, putting on the glove, he pulls on his
like fucking Ben Affleck, you know, doing the
like, wake me up. Oh, this I can't believe I couldn't see. He's like pulling his cowl over him. Yeah, mate, it does this jump cut to him running over the building.
And you still can't fucking see him at nighttime when he's on the rooftops?
Yeah, mate. But I kind of like, he already knew from Hector's niece. Daredevil already knew around where Muse was operating, some like the G train, the G rail.
And he would have been able to like lock onto her heartbeat or something.
So like, while the police wouldn't know what's going on, and she was like sneaking around the rails, all Matt really had to do was like cast out his radar, and he'd get her heartbeat.
It would have just been nice to have like at least a second, like a scene that goes for even a second, just to show him like focusing.
Yeah, just show him like kneeling down, and he's like got his eyes shut.
That's all. Like they did that perfectly in episode 1 of the first season, where he's like listening around and then he hears the kid fucking scream.
At the end of Fogwell's gym, where he's like on the building just waiting.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Daddy," and he like fucking puts on the mask.
Well, season 2 opens with him. It's like panning over buildings in New York, and then when he has like gunshots, you can see like the devil horns running away. You're like, oh shit!
It's so cool, man. But Kingpin's fight was really, really brutal as well. When he fucking grabbed Adam's head.
This guy fucked his wife.
Didn't he even say something like how they're intertwined now? Or like they're linked? He's like, I can't let that go.
Brothers. When I was
How does it feel? I thought he was going to say something about like the prison scene from that one comic. I was like, oh my god.
When the crusty bones descend upon my wife.
On my ass. I couldn't do a thing. But here is an axe to defend yourself. Good luck. Fucking charges right at him.
I do think, honestly, MCU-wise, Wilson Fisk might be the best fucking villain they've got.
Daredevil has like the 2 best ones, like you said, Wilson, but then even Bullseye.
Yeah, mate.
Even Muse is fucking better than half of the villains in the MCU.
Right. Muse is like up there now, dude.
Muse Hive is eating good. Let's
no
fucking
dialogue
go.
used was more interesting than the entire Black Order, than Aldrich, Killian, and whoever the hell the rest of them were.
Mate, it's such a weird feeling. Like when I read all of Daredevil and I was smashing through the Soul run, and
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, Muse is actually fucking sick. And then fast forward like however many months later, you get him in a show and he's like equally as cool in the show.
yeah, they've done it, so
I
they
was like,
can
fuck,
adapt
yeah, and
characters. I know he
he's got
hasn't
the
said
costume.
that.
The
That is
costume's
the key
perfect.
thing, dude. It's exactly how it should be. Meanwhile, look at like MCU Vulture. Looks nothing like the Vulture.
He's got a leather jacket with fur. Get it, guys? Get it?
Yeah, literally, dude. He's got he's got the wings, he's got the fluff. That's the Mysterio's got some stupid like golden armor on him. Why?
You know what's always funny to me about the Sam Raimi stuff, like with the games especially?
Go ahead.
Like how they got the movie designs for like Green Goblin,
Yeah.
but then you got like pure comic accurate Vulture and fucking Shocker. It's like, well, it just doesn't really work.
Then their Mysterio looks nothing like any comic version of Mysterio. And he's an alien instead of like a sorcerer. That Rhino, it's got like 4 spikes on his shoulders and that.
Mate, was that Rhino the same model in Spider-Man Ultimate Mayhem, that fucking mobile game?
I think it might have been because it was very blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had like those like weird scraps of metal just fucking placed everywhere on his body.
Yeah.
But I love the part because I was trying to like in my head, I'm trying to like figure out what's gonna happen. I originally thought that Angel was going to die, and that would be Matt fucking going like doing his primal scream because he's like, if I had just snapped out of it sooner, I could have saved her.
Yeah.
But then no, he's just fucking he was just wanting to fight, and he just let out the scream then.
Yeah, mate.
Fucking
He's back in
punches Muse, "Rah!" And then just keeps going into like, oh, okay, yeah, fuck yeah, why not?
The punches as well, mate. You can tell he's like the son of a boxer because some of the jabs he lays on Muse.
I
Slaughtering him,
love
dude.
when he throws his billy club and it fucking smacks Muse dead in the head. Oh, what about when?
Pointless flips. Like, he does a flip kick and like backflips out. And there's a scene in Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi one, where the Goblin like does a flip and then punches Spider-Man, but the flip purely for style.
He slams him back into the ground.
Yeah. It's like he's got no reason to do the flip. It wasn't like to dodge anything.
Mate,
It was just so
season 1 Daredevil did it all the fucking time. Like in the first hallway fight, where he's like really tired, mind you. He's like he can barely stand. He's so exhausted. And instead of just like kicking the guy's face, he does a full-on front flip, slam into the guy, like just kick him.
Yeah.
But I love. I can't remember if I think he was trying to stop Daredevil from saving Angel.
Yeah.
And it's like for a split second, but when it closed up on Muse's hand, and he fucking spins the knife like, and then he's like about to stab the girl.
Yeah.
That to me was just so cool. Like the quick little spin, all the sound effects, fucking Daredevil throwing the billy club.
Doesn't even look when he does it, does he? He just like points it behind him and launches it.
And then, oh, what about when Muse is about to whack him with the thing, and Daredevil just sticks his hand out and catches it?
Yeah, mate. Did you see at one point Muse like does get Daredevil with the knife and sparks fly off him?
Yeah, he stabs him right in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Because like Muse can fight. I was surprised by it. Like he can actually fight really well. For like one that's not maybe got his powers, which makes me believe he's got something to him.
There's some weird going on in there.
What about
like what the hell Muse even was? Did we like? We never
not
find
really
out
properly in that.
anything about him.
Not properly. They in the Daredevil runs they just really brush over it.
Hey, nice brush, good art.
Well, I do love, speaking of his art, I love how um disturbing and disgusting his setup is. Like his gloves are wet. And you just know he's not cleaning that fucking pump out at all.
Oh
Like
god,
she's probably got some sort of like disease.
absolutely. After that 60 plus guys, and he's not cleaned it once.
There's no way he did as well. Like the whole thing was, you remember like how badly that room would smell?
Oh yeah, because there's still corpses just hanging up.
I wish though they recreated the scene from the comic where Daredevil like looks up and then his radar senses like depicting 100 corpses hanging there.
Oh.
Or like this one would be 60, but it would have been like cool to just have that sort of like moment.
Well, he did escape, so he might get a few more victims under his belt.
Surely he returns.
Now that I believe so, I think he's meant to be in season 2. Now that there's a superhero on his ass, he might step up his game, like what Fisk said about how
But
when
even
he
in
knows.
season 1, like surely he comes back because wasn't there that one frame
There's
where it looks like he's running?
Office. There's a frame where he's in Heather's office fighting Daredevil because you see like a bookshelf behind them. So he's definitely coming back.
Was that in the trailer?
Yeah.
I remember the one where I can't remember if I sent it to you. I think I was pointing out like about the costume being like 1-for-1, and it looks like he's running and towards something, but it's not in that like tunnel area.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. It was just so cool seeing Muse fucking go all out.
We finally got a super villain for him to fight because he's mostly just fought gangsters, Daredevil, isn't he? Gangsters and ninjas he's fought.
And
even Bullseye didn't really have his costume. He was just in a ski mask.
it's a nice, like... I think Muse could be really well as a reoccurring character in a certain sense.
Yeah.
Where it's more just like... I guess in the comics. Just comes back and keeps just killing people. And Matt just gets more and more sick of his shit.
I think that might be better for Bullseye, that. Like every time he breaks
definitely,
out,
yeah. Bullseye's got to be that too.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of like characters being killed off, so I sort of just want him to be there for as long as they possibly can.
Yeah. And if we never see him unmasked, it means even if something happened to the actor, you just get a new stunt double in, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, who knows how much the actor even did if he's like, during the fight scenes.
Yeah.
I think his eyes are cool as though. Like, I was a bit skeptical of like them showing his eyes.
Yeah, that's the one thing they changed, wasn't it?
Yeah, of the design, yeah. But then I think it works almost just to see like the hollowness of it.
Yeah, he does like that's because he doesn't speak. Obviously, that is the majority of his acting is through his eyes, and that expression when the Billy Club tether cable hits the wall next to him, and he's like,
he's fucking freaky.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say before, dude. Wilson Fisk's anti-vigilante task force, yeah. What fucking vigilantes, mate? The MCU's got no one. We've got Daredevil, Swordsman, and Miss Marvel. I can't even count Spider-Man because he's never going to appear because of Sony. So in all of New York City, there's 3 crime fighters, and Wilson Fisk has dedicated a task force to these 3 crime fighters.
It's the problem though with the MCU is how horrible their character building is, like their world building is, I should say.
Yeah.
It's so shit that a lot of these stories are like, well, you don't do the necessary work to go after these bigger stories. Like for Devil's Reign, you need Daredevil, Spider-Man, Defenders, fucking all the vigilantes, and then Fantastic Four.
Even
the Avengers there.
America got involved in Devil's Reign.
Yeah, you need the Avengers.
It's the chameleon the whole time, dude. But
fucking loser, man.
Even if Fisk, I think by vigilante he means person in a mask because he seems to include Muse in that. He'll probably end up including Bullseye, but even so, the MCU murders all of its villains. So, okay, we've got the 3 heroes and then Bullseye and Muse, and that's everyone. A task force for
It
Atman
just sucks
5.
though they keep doing that. Like the MCU's built off them just killing their villains.
And now we've got no one to fight, but nothing to do. Would he count? Captain
Sorry?
America's got a mask. Would he count Captain America? Would he count the Hulk as a vigilante? She-Hulk doesn't wear a mask, so she's fine. She's not even in New York.
Also, I found the photo that I was talking about. It is right from it looks like Heather's office.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for my glorious king to return. It's like, wait, could you imagine like Devil's Reign, but it's fucking Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and fucking Swordsman.
Swordsman, I have no idea. Thingy's dad said she was in California. Now, I have not and do not intend to watch Captain Marvel 2. Why is she in California?
Maybe is it something to do with like the Champions or some shit, or like the Young Avengers, or?
Of course, mate. Aaron Kate Bishop.
I don't know. I didn't watch the show. I'm not going to watch the show.
I stopped halfway through Miss Marvel. I think I watched the first like 2 or 3.
What was it like? Was it just like a Disney show?
More or less, yeah. It was very like the school bits. It was like it was trying to be Homecoming again, but it was
because that worked out.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Mate, you know, if one thing can come out of this show, hopefully it's a Muse action figure.
Well, you said you're going to make your own Lego minifig.
Yeah, because it's like it's so simple, and you're not like gonna touch the paint apps, so it doesn't really have much of a risk of coming off.
Yeah.
Whereas with the figure, it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, because I was like I was looking at my Lego Daredevil. I'm like, hang on, there's a Lego beanie piece. Huh.
Oh, that
makes perfect.
There's only like ghosts you could use.
Well, like people had like the Mr. Knight Lego figure, and it has that sort of like same mask face. Where I guess all you'd have to do is just paint around the eyes red.
Yeah, do like a trail going down. Like tears up.
Splash it.
And the splotch on his chest, and you're done and dusted.
I do like that the Man Without Fear suit is long behind us. Like, I like the suit, but the fact that he wore that more than the red suit really pisses me off.
I know I've been mentioning season 2 of Daredevil a lot, but I've got a soft spot for it simply because it's Daredevil in his suit the whole season.
He doesn't have like any mopey "I quit" and then wears the fucking black suit when he comes back. It's just Daredevil.
Season 3's final fight, as good as it is, I would have liked, you know, like the bit in Born Again where he has Melvin make him a Daredevil suit. Like if he'd have went to fight Kingpin one more time as Daredevil, and then when Dex turns up in his Daredevil suit, you have Matt beat the shit out of him and once and for all become Daredevil, like for good.
I think that what they should have done as well, if they were going with like he gets a new suit, it would have been the perfect chance to give him the logo. To say like, no, I am the real Daredevil.
Yeah, because he's had his name tarnished by Dex wearing his costume. So yeah, he could have given the big BB, and then he's like, no, look, I'm Daredevil. And then he could.
I'm in mourning for my buried rep.
You couldn't even get the colours right. What's colour?
Yeah. Is that why like the double D on the new suit that got leaked? Like the bottom D is like sort of wonky. Did he like draw it himself or something?
I thought it was yellow.
It is just like painted on. So I'm wondering, like, was it almost? Do they think we couldn't put on the logo on the red suit because it'd blend in? Is that what the thought process was? It's interesting that the black suit, when I'm looking at the photos here, it looks like it's got like some wear and tear, but underneath the black layer is red.
Yeah, it's like scratches.
So is this his red suit but painted black?
I wish his gauntlets were red. You know, like in the Soul Run where he's got the boxing bandages.
Oh yeah, and the red boots because it like breaks up the color palette.
Exactly, because it does look like it's scratching off at the black, and it's just red
Even look at the
underneath.
helmet. The helmet looks like paint coming off.
Unless it is the symbiote mate, and we've just got the given Matt all the Spider-Man stories.
It looks really similar. I wonder who made it. I hope it wasn't the one from She-Hulk. I want Melvin to return.
I will melt them back just so like I do want the Gladiator at some point, whether he's like coerced into returning, or if they do that issue where like the issue right before Born Again where he's breaking into museums and that because someone's kidnapped. See, that one's sick, dude. If they adapted that for an episode,
mate, that should have been the filler. If they had a filler, I know it was pre-Rehawk because the people behind the original show clearly hate fucking Daredevil, I guess. But if I was gonna do a filler, have a villain. Like remember we said last week? Oh, not last week, the week before.
Yeah, when we were discussing what villains are fun.
Or like have a filler episode where he's getting back into the groove of things and he fights a random villain.
It's a low
that
level.
Should have been the filler.
Could have even had Leapfrog return after She-Hulk for revenge.
Anyone would have fucking like
obviously
Roger Bumper Stiltman.
Of course, like Stiltman or Jester or something would have been ideal. But that's what I mean. Random, just bank robbers, not even the Sin Eater dude. It's just a dude. Just Irish bank robbers. Not really comic booky, is it?
It's more like that to me feels more like the Punisher. Because I just remember him killing a shit ton of the Irish mob.
Yeah. I mean, it's gross. He embeds a razor blade into his own arm to escape.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Daredevil saves his ass, dude. Oh, it's sick.
Mate, I was so scared for that dog.
Oh, yeah.
I do love, though, how he does just have a dog.
Yeah. It's just his dog, and he stole it from him. I love when they've like got a drill in Frank's foot, like going. He's like, "You're a big man now, are you?" And Frank's like, "Go on, do it. Are you gonna fucking talk about it, or are you gonna do it?"
I can't wait to see him back.
When he's busting them out on that episode, Daredevil dude, and Frank's like, he picks up a hammer and goes to dome some fella, and Daredevil knocks it out his hand. He's like, "No, kill it." Frank's like scrambling towards a gun, so Daredevil like kicks it away. He's like, "No, kill it."
I love in season 2 where the prison scene.
Yeah.
And fucking when Kingpin sets him up and he stares at all the prisoners and he just goes and fucking starts punching one, punching another. And it's like, oh my god.
Absolutely kicks ass, mate. He's boss the Punisher.
And then, but you know what's like one of the part that always gets me?
Go ahead.
I think he just like threw someone to the ground. And when it cuts like slow motion for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
You hear like a grunt, like an actual like angry, tired grunt from Punisher. I'm like, oh fuck. It's so cool. And
what are you
talking about primal screams, man? What about Kingpins?
Yeah, mate. As I say, he's pissed off with this Adam dude. Screams mine at him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was so good. My
the
wife. Fucking Borat's in the cell. Did you imagine? My name not Adam, it's Borat.
Vanessa Fisk.
I like you. I like your wife.
The vigilantes have returned to their natural form.
Like an LEG comes through as well. Vanessa, how many men have had their way with you? Listen, man, still.
Oh my
I
god.
love in the intro.
Just, come on, let's stab it.
I love in the intro where he parks in the disabled parking.
Limps up.
And then yeah. It's so fucking funny. Could you imagine an endgame where like strangers doing the portal and LEG and Borat walk out?
Yellow car just boobs out the fucking portal. Him and our brethren, he's on the fucking radio. And Captain America's like got his earpiece in, just like on your left. But it's fucking LEG, it's like him and out.
Logan tries to interview Thanos mid-battle. So your face looks like a testicle still.
What are you hoping for then for the next episodes?
It's weird because it's like, okay, so Muse escaped and Daredevil Bullseye is back. So does it go like straight to Daredevil just trying to find Muse again? Or does it go to like maybe Bullseye? Or do you reckon that Bullseye and the Punisher are going to be saved for the finale?
Well, I've just Googled it. Apparently Born Again does indeed only have 9 episodes.
They had a fucking filler episode with 9 episodes.
Yeah, we've got 3 left. Now, we know the Punisher does return because we've seen in trailers
together. He fights with Matt.
Muse has to return because
Muse has to return.
We've seen the image of him in Heather's office. And
Muse, Bullseye, Punisher.
I'm pissed if the final scene of the show is Bullseye showing he's got the tooth in his mouth. And it's like...
No, but what about... There's a photo where Bullseye's like staring at a broken mirror. And he's like out of custody.
Oh shit, maybe then. Good. Because I remember in all the adverts to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, literally shows the final shot of him fighting Rhino. And it's like, that's how it is. Yeah. It's fun. So if it does end of Dex is coming back, I'll be livid. I'm hoping the very ending is showing Foggy's still alive.
They did hint at it, I think. So what are the names we got left for the episodes? I know Art for Art's Sakes is one of them.
It's gonna be sick, that one.
That has to be Muse.
Gotta be, that'll be the one. Episode titles. Optics, The Hollow of His Hand, Sixth Sense, With Interest and Excessive Force were these 2. And then next up, we got episode 7.
So...
Oh, it doesn't say. It just says episode 1.7. Well, that was IMDb.
So, yeah. Art for Art's Sakes is there.
Straight to Hell is one of them.
Straight to Hell and Isle of Joy.
Ah.
I feel like Straight to Hell might be the season finale. And it's going to be Daredevil and Bullseye just going wild on the corrupt cops.
Oh, teaming up. I forgive you.
They do?
Do they?
In the trailer, yeah, they show fucking Frank...
Bullseye?
Oh, not Bullseye, sorry, Daredevil and Punisher.
I was like, what the fuck? Daredevil's like, looks like I need a new best friend. Hell yeah.
That was Bullseye's goal all along. He's like, well, I want to be your best friend.
It's like that reverse flash panel where he's like, why do you keep... Barry asks him why he keeps ruining his life. Reverse Flash is like, it's because it's the only time you'll spend time with me. Bullseye's killed all his love interests.
Yeah.
So
he actually just really wants Matt for himself. So, do you feel like Straight to Hell could be the finale of like Punisher and Daredevil just going wild on all the cops?
Yeah. I think next will be Isle of Joy. Then it'll be Art for Art's Sake, because that'll be like the muse come up.
So they'll save. You think they'll save Muse for like the penultimate?
Yeah, because we've just seen him get his ass kicked now. He'll probably be in the next one just for like, oh, what's he doing? What's he up to? And
So
then,
I wonder what they'll do. Kingpin's got some shit to explain as well.
Yeah, dude. I reckon the next episode will have. I reckon Heather is gonna say some therapist bullshit, and she'll be like, "You need to find." To Matt, she'll be like, "You seem distracted. You need to find your inner Isle of Joy." Then, next episode, when Muse murders Heather, Daredevil's gonna go, "Why?" And then Muse is gonna have his one word of the show, and he's gonna go, "For art's sake." And then at the end,
did you like it?
Yeah, mate. Daredevil and Punisher in the last episode, they'll be like, "These corrupt cop bastards are gonna get sent straight to hell."
Yeah, like Daredevil's trying to say like, Frank, remember, no killing. And then as he's like fighting a cop in another room, all he hears outside is, "You're going straight to hell." He's like, "Oh, fuck."
Say hello to my boy for me. In this, Frank seems more. In the episode 4, Frank mentions how every time he stops moving, he hears his son's voice telling him, "Go and avenge him." But in season 2, it's more his daughter he cares for, because he goes on this big rant about how he promised to read her a book tomorrow instead of tonight, and then obviously tomorrow was the day she got gunned down. He focuses a lot more on his daughter. While in Born Again, he doesn't even mention her, he mentions his son.
It's weird to me though that in Frank's appearances in Daredevil are
Yeah.
infinitely better than his own show.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like this show fundamentally misunderstood Frank on nearly every aspect.
In the Punisher, once you're the Punisher, you're fucking in it till you die, mate.
Oh, he killed the mob. Yeah, I'm done. No, you're not.
There's still crime out there, asshole.
There are cars there, motherfucker.
You should adapt the period of Spider-Man comics where the Shocker was shit scared of the Punisher. After the fucking Scourge of the Underworld bullshit, Shocker was terrified of fucking Punisher turning up. Like, all through lethal of Spider-Man, he's just shitting himself.
Do you prefer like if Frank kept the long hair? Because he's getting his fade back in the whenever he shows up. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go killing. Gotta go to my barber real quick. Microchip, help me."
He's back to being Shane from season 2 of Walking Dead.
What is that?
He just keeps rubbing his head. That's why he's got no fucking hair. He kept rubbing his head every time something happened.
Man, I remember like watching The Walking Dead like the first time, like, oh, okay, yeah, zombies, cool. Yeah. And then like I just see like Frank Castle just bum his mate's wife. I'm like, what? This is meant to be about zombies.
Walking Dead's okay until like season 4, but the comic was boss all the way through.
I was always more into the game.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely, dude. The Telltale game.
But one thing I do love is it's so simple. But when that guy leaves the game and it's like, oh, he's now in the show, I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, like you see Glenn in episode 1 of the game, and then in episode 1 of the show, he saves Rick at the end.
Remember Mike? Is it Michael Crocker? His name, the Yondu guy?
Yeah, Michael Rooker.
Oh, mate, he was just like stuck on the roof. That was fucking grim.
He was one of the best characters in the whole thing.
I've only seen like the first few episodes. I stopped right before they got to that weird bunker.
Oh yeah, the CDC where they're like trying to.
That just gets a bit too much for me. Like I prefer when it's more like I'm gonna sound like a fucking
No, no.
Nolan fan. When it's like grounded, you
Yeah.
know, like I want like my favorite part is the start of the apocalypse because like I like seeing how they react to it.
I do agree. They are when it's at its peak, and then they spend the whole season at this farm, which is really good still. But you're like, you just because they're not moving, they're not actively in danger. It does get a bit slow. It's more about how the characters are losing it rather than the
And
actual.
every character reacts differently, and it's always cool to see like each person's sort of thought process with it. Like I love, especially in the game, that I think does better. Even though it's cool seeing like fucking Rick wake up to everything gone to shit. Like that's cool as well.
Yeah, mate.
But like in the game when you're trying to find Clementine at the start and you hear like the voicemail and it progressively gets more scarier and scarier.
Yeah, they start off
I
calm.
always love that.
It's
Yeah, and she's like,
like
"I love you,
shit.
baby." I'm like, "Oh, fuck,
Jeez.
no." Maybe we
But
should do an
yes,
episode on The Walking Dead.
it is, as I say, dude. It is a comic. It's in the comic. Rick jumps from like every 20 issues. Rick jumps from being absolutely hopeless, like ready to kill himself, to being just no. Wait, we're gonna live. Humans, yeah.
I feel like. Do you think it would be like that though? If you got like fucking anxiety or some shit and you're in the zombie apocalypse, you just keep like switching back and forth.
Yeah, dude. So, if you could choose one comic character to appear in Daredevil, who would you have?
I really, ever since we said Roger Bumper's stilt man, I've thought about it every day. It'd just be so cool. Just to hear that voice, Daredevil. Or like,
Season 2 is meant to be, as you say, Devil's Reign, and like he's meant to be on the run or something. So I'm hoping they do a bit of like an Arkham Origins type of shit where Fisk is like hiring super criminals to go and kill Matt Murdock.
yeah, because like, uh, wasn't Fisk like task force involving U.S. agent and shit like that?
Yeah, mate, they were the Thunderbolts. He had like the Rhino. He had in Devil's Reign, he had US Agent, he had Rhino, Electro, and he had Scorn or whatever the hell, one of the symbiotes. Might have been Agony. No, one of the Life Foundation ones.
I love that one panel where US agent says like, "Oh, I'm right with God," and then Matt's like, "If you were, he wouldn't have sent me." And he turns off the lights.
Maybe
Like,
he had the
oh yeah.
as well, because Shocker tries to arrest Luke Cage and gets fucked up.
Poor Shocker, man.
I know, dude. There's no respect. I fucking love him as well.
Would you want like the Jester or some shit if they had like one villain to just come into it?
That's who I'm hoping Matthew Lillard is, because he's got like that lanky frame. You know what I mean?
I still feel like he'd be a good Mr. Fear.
He would, but I think that's just because I know him from horrors. Well, from
Yeah, I mean that's that.
Scooby-Doo.
It does suck though. Yeah, the famous horror Scooby-Doo. It does suck that if they do Devil's Reign, we won't get like a classic Mr. Fear or like Jester story, It would just be straight to fucking big time shit.
Yeah, they skip over the good stuff, don't they? Like, since what was it? Endgame, they've skipped over like all the actually interesting shit, and we're now squaring like the Marvel Now era, which was all dog shit.
Even like with Daredevil's villains, it's pretty interesting how a lot of the time it is just Kingpin and Bullseye. A lot of the time it is. Like look at the look at the Bendis run. Like besides no sorry, look at the volume 2. Besides Kevin Smith's like Mysterio story, it's basically just fucking Kingpin.
Yeah. Because we had
like Echo relates to Kingpin. Typhoid Mary would be sick if they did her properly.
Yeah. No one watched Iron Fist anyway. so they could easily just reshuffle.
Like, I never bothered with the other shows. So, like, when I found out that, oh my god, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing are in the MCU, I'm like, oh, sick. Had no fucking clue, but sick. Would you want Blind Spot, or would you think, nah, leave him out?
I don't think he really
Ten
fit.
Fingers,
Like,
mate?
maybe if 10 Fingers had been like the reason Matt come back. Now that he's back as Daredevil, it's like don't really need Blind Spot to, if you know what I mean.
I don't think they captured the Hand quite as they should have.
Nah.
They're not really an unrelenting force like in the comics.
They're just like more evil Yakuza.
Yeah, pretty much. Got all those blind people doing drugs, like making the things, weren't they? Or that was the other woman.
Yeah, Madame Gao or whatever her name was.
But then didn't like one of the people in that organization have the massive like electric coffin or some shit?
Yeah, they go for
Nobu,
Elektra
is it?
because Nobu's the one who gets it, dude. They go for Elektra because she's fucking with them, obviously. And then you don't really see them after the Defenders because they were the main threat in that. I think Iron Fist Season 2 may have had references, but I never watched that.
There's no reason, though, for them not to do Gladiator properly.
Yeah, they've got him set up. He's already in it. He just needs to give himself the wrist blades and he's sorted.
He had the shirt. You know, his costume, you could get away with making it a fucking shirt. You know, it's basically a skin-tight fucking singlet with shoulder pads.
They just need the helmet.
Yeah, the helmet, green pants, and the blades, and you're sorted.
That's it, dude. It's so easy. They've done half of the job already.
And then they'll somehow mess it up.
They're going to be like, he salvaged an Iron Man helmet from fucking Infinity War, and he's got his own onboard AI called Betsy.
Mate, what if they had Stuntmaster come through?
Yes, main villain for Season 2.
Stuntmaster? He goes to California.
We need
Mordecai Jones, the Dark Messiah.
Oh, mate. Ramrod.
And got the screen.
Do you remember Mr. Klein?
Oh, who was he?
He's a robot from the future. He comes back in time to fuck with Daredevil. He made robot duplicates of the Scorpion and Mr. Hyde to fight Daredevil.
Mr. Klein with a K, is it?
Klein with a K, yeah, dude.
Oh my.
So get him in Born Again too.
What about El Jaguar? Yeah, like you know what's
Moon Dragon.
Pardon?
Has the MCU got Moon Dragon, or did she?
I don't think so. No, because they bottled they botched Phyla-Vell, so I don't know what they're doing with Moon Dragon.
I think it was Drax's daughter or some shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, then like Phyla-Vell is Mar-Vell's daughter, but then there's no Mar-Vell. So it's like, what are you guys even fucking doing?
Swear to God. Who's in charge of shit, mate?
Every, like, people nice who hate the comics.
Literally, that's how it's feeling, isn't it?
You know, it's pretty weird how Torpedo was a reoccurring Daredevil villain for a bit in the 70s.
Torpedo.
Remember Torpedo?
It's brave having the word pedo in your supervillain name.
And you just know Bullseye would make fun of you for it at every chance.
Does he team up with Skip?
You guys remember the last episode was saying like, oh, we're putting together a team of remarkable people. We got Whirlwind, Skip, Torpedo.
The molesters.
Would you have would you have Paladin come up for a bit as a mercenary?
Ooh. Well, they need to start like building up other characters, certainly, don't they? Rather than the 4 we've got.
I still think they could have done more with the hand. Like even in this season, like have something to do with them.
Yeah. Is there a huge part of it, isn't it?
Oh man, I would have loved to see Nuke.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember what happened to him. I just know he was defo in Jessica Jones for like 10 minutes.
I was also gonna say I'd love to see Bullet, but he's in.
He's already
show.
wasted.
he's what a
Nothing
waste.
like what he should have been.
Where's his son, mate? That's fucking afraid of nuclear fallout.
Where's his accent?
Where's
he
Shotgun?
Where's Rock Gut?
Where's Surgeon General?
I've ran out.
These are the real questions, man.
Where's Lady Bullseye?
Is it Ikari?
You? Where's Lady Stiltman?
Remember the guy that was like wearing like the half yellow Daredevil suit and like
yeah. Ikari, yeah, powers, but he could also see. Because then Daredevil goes to like bang him out with a fire extinguisher. He goes, "Try the red one." And Daredevil's like, "What's red?"
What about I mean, we technically had Mike Murdock in season 1. I love though, like for nearly the entire like first few episodes, Claire just keeps calling him Mike, and like, yeah, that just tickles my brain, you know.
Where the hell is she?
Probably just sick of Mike's shit.
She was like an important character. Foggy even goes to her in season 2, so they brought her back.
Remember Coyote? Was it Coyote or Coyote? Yeah, was it Coyote?
From the comics or the show?
The show, the comics. Sorry, he was in the Wade run.
Oh, he was like the Spot.
Yeah, I thought he was the Spot, to be honest, until he wasn't.
He kidnaps the Spot or something.
And he like takes Daredevil's head off.
Yeah.
That was weird.
What the hell is
that was fucking weird.
That was wild. We need more street level villains, like for example, Hammerhead. All these mob guys are boring. In the comics, it's normally boss when there's like a mob meeting because fucking Tombstone turns up and like Silvermane, Hammerhead, and the Owl. All these named characters roll in, but in this, there's a guy called Luca.
The tracksuit mafia? Are we fucking serious?
Yeah, from Hawkeye, and it's literally like it's just a bunch of notes. I don't know any of the names. I only know Luca's because it was said this episode like twice. While in the books, mate, there's like when there's a meeting in the books, it's exciting to see what supervillain's gonna roll up.
It's also it's weird to think that in a world that supposedly is filled with vigilantes, there's not much to do for them.
Yeah, like a villain turns up every 2 years,
and they die.
Yeah, I used to think this about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Like he's this huge hero, but he's really only won by Spider-Man 3. He's only won 2 fights. Like he's stopped.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, in the games, every week he's got like the Shockers broke out of prison or friggin' Mysterio's
the Shocker is the Shocker. Sorry, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man is twice the fucking Spidey. Then like almost all of them. Yeah, even though Andrew Spidey was fighting fucking cross species and the giant robots.
The cast of villains that Tobey Maguire's Spidey's got are all sick. Even like his Scorpion being some weird like android, nothing to do with Jonah Jameson type of shit. They've all got some story going on.
I did think it was weird how they completely forgot about Scorpion's previous appearance in the third game.
Yeah. And the Rhino. The Rhino's completely different.
It's so, like... It just confuses me. To me, like, majority of Spider-Man 3 feels like a fever dream.
In Spider-Man 1, the game, it's clearly said that Scorpion was made by Oscorp. But then suddenly in Spider-Man 3, it's Mecha Biocon who've turned him into the Scorpion. It's like, well, why was Norman Oscorp?
It's like... They go on Google and go, like, random shady corporation name generator.
Yeah, Mecha Biocon.
Yeah, that's good.
The PS1 game had somewhere called Omnitech. How sick's that sound?
Oh, yeah. I remember.
The heist at Omnitech with the Rhino.
Remember, like, all of the cameras in Spider-Man 1 that would follow you around and you had to, like, web them?
Yeah.
That was such a pain in the ass when you had to lock onto shit.
Oh, the lock-on was.
Oh, no. The, in Spider-Man 1, you know what was a pain?
Go ahead.
When you had to infiltrate Oscorp and you can't get caught.
Them robots always kick my ass, mate.
Yeah. As soon as you got caught, like, out of nowhere, about 20 of them fucking appeared. All shooting directly at your head. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, impossible.
Which one was worse? Would you say, like, the lab part, like, near the end? Or, you know, it's more like the mansion sort of area?
Like, yeah, when you first break in, it's more like the lobby in it, and it's a bit... I know what you mean. I think trying to escape at the end because they know you're there. You've just took down a big fucking, like, Power Rangers robot.
I thought that was a pain in the ass too.
Yeah.
Because it locks in. So,
yeah.
How are you feeling about the show? Because personally, this show is like, to me, it's decent at best with a lot of incredible moments. And I just don't think incredible moments equal incredible show.
Yeah, you do have to wade through a bit of shit to get to the good stuff. Like, I enjoyed the White Tiger trial just because I do think it's an interesting idea of how would the legal system work in this world of superheroes. But then...
And he says his mystical, the magical amulet.
The rest of, like, the legal stuff, like when he was defending that fella who did rob that shop, but we were meant to feel bad because it's like, he's got to be a criminal because he can't afford to be anything else. I was a bit like, yeah, but you still did the fucking crime. So that bit I'm a bit...
Like in Toy Story, you know, like if the boot fits, it's like you did the crime, you got to do the time.
Now that we're finally getting into costumed Daredevil fighting supervillains, I'm ready for, like, I'm into it.
Do you think it's, like, taken too long, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
because we've got 3 episodes left. It's going to be quick.
Yeah, because now that's literally more than half of the series. 2/3 of the series had no Daredevil. You should have titled it Matt Murdock Born Again.
It's an interesting choice. To just, like, okay, he's back, quickly rush it all in.
Yeah.
It's like, I fucking hope. You know, I think what scares me is the way that the end of this episode sort of rushed together.
Yeah.
And I'm worried if that's going to continue for the next, 3 episodes.
We should have got rid of episode 5. This should have been episode 5. Just don't mention any stupid bank robberies. Then the next ones could be him coming back into it, and Wilson Fisk's trying to, obviously, as soon as he finds out Daredevil's back, he's going to be livid.
Do you think they're going to have, like, another meeting in the diner or something like that? And it's going to be more, like, tense?
I hope so, yeah. He'll be like, I know what you've been doing. And Matt'll be like, well, I can smell your wife on 3 people in this room.
But he's lucky that Matt never got too close to Vanessa, because in season 1, I felt something was there.
Comics Matt absolutely would have already done it. So we've got left another Muse fight, whatever Bullseye's up to, Fisk's task force, the Punisher's return. What else?
Yeah, it's looking like they're trying to fit a lot in. You know, like, what about Heather? Does Heather do anything?
Yeah. Heather's gonna have to. There's a scene in the trailer of Heather and Matt dancing at like a fancy event. That's probably gonna be where they figure out she's counsel and the Kingpin.
And there's another scene where they have, like, you know,
yeah, when they get through it.
They go intimate. So it's like, when's this gonna happen?
We've wasted too much time on.
Is she returning in season 2?
You know what? I've not seen it said. I reckon Bullseye's gonna get it.
Please do. Oh, that's what they should do. Fuck, if he escapes prison.
Yeah.
And like he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill Matt's girlfriend. And he just tracks her down to fucking kill her.
That's just his thing he does every time he breaks out.
There was a shit issue. It was for an anniversary of Daredevil, where they had like a bunch of people, like past creators, write a story in it.
Yeah.
And when Bendis did it as well, and he had Alex Maleev even do the fucking artwork for it. And oh fuck, it was so shit. It was set during the Bendis run. You think, oh okay, maybe just a little like filler story. And it's like, oh, Daredevil saves a woman from a bank robbery, sleeps with her, secretly marries her, gets her pregnant, and then ditches her. And then you know how it ends? Because it's like it's written through, like, you see it as a letter to her child that will be born.
Yeah.
And the story ends where she's like sleeping. And then she looks out the window and fucking Bullseye is standing right at her window. And he's like, hi. It's like, this guy is a psycho.
Absolutely unhinged, dude.
Honestly, if I can find it. I can't remember what anniversary it was. But it wasn't 60th. I think it had that old Daredevil story.
Yeah.
What was his 50th anniversary?
I've only just passed the 40th, where it had that dodgy art where like they were clearly trying to draw Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I'm 10 years out from that. But that's only like issues in it.
Daredevil. Let me try. I'll try one issue just to see if it is that. But it's just like I really, as you know, dark as it sounds, I want Bullseye to just continuously just do that sort of shit.
Yeah, maybe too.
It's just him in a nutshell.
Like we said, if it's like he's trying to get Matt's attention by being the only one Matt knows who's still alive.
Yeah. I did it for you. I'm so confused. Which one's the 50th anniversary for Daredevil? Oh wait, I think it might be 36.
Is that how the Miller stuff ends?
No, I think it was set. I can't remember. What part are you up to?
The White Tiger's granddaughter or whatever. The niece has just come to Daredevil saying, I've inherited the Tiger talisman.
Oh, so you would have passed hardcore.
Yeah, just. He's been the Kingpin for a while.
Yeah, but he also goes missing.
Yeah. And Doctor Strange tries to tell him a proverb and he tells him to shove it.
Because I'm pretty sure when he goes missing, it's meant to be around that time.
Oh yeah.
I think I found it. The cover's actually sick. Shame the story's not. Because this has like, when Daredevil's older and he thinks his son's a total loser.
Oh yeah.
And then his son saves him. He's like, oh, maybe you're not a loser after all.
Son, maybe you're not shit.
It's like, wow, what a dickhead. Yeah, I found it. Yes, fucking found it. It's Daredevil issue 1.50 from the 2014 run. My name is Stanna Morgan, and I am married to Matt Murdock.
Oh.
We met, like, the owl, I think, held up of course it was the fucking owl.
Of course, mate. His most vile villain.
So he saves her, and he lifts her, like, off the ground, and they, like, do lovey eyes. And then, let's see. That night, as I lay there in bed, not able to sleep, I knew that my life had to change. She wanted to do something that, because she feels unfulfilled. I didn't hear him, but I sat up in bed and I saw his silhouette on my fire escape. Daredevil. And then they just go right at it. They just, yeah. Then they got married. They got married and then fucking Bullseye goes to see her.
Yes.
So and then, it's the best part? So you got like Bullseye's face, and then the next page is, hello, future. This is the inimitable Mike Murdock talking at you. And by future,
he's back.
Yeah, it's fucking Mike Murdock.
Big Mike has returned at last, dude.
It's he's even like talking like Mike as well. He's thanks to the snazzy buzz cams Reed Richards loaned me. It's even like perfectly over the top, just like the 60s Mike Murdock.
Ridiculous, dude.
I'll send through the pages. It's fucking funny. So like it literally goes like wedding, then Bullseye, then Mike Murdock. There we go. It is pretty sad how he just I don't even know how he fucking finds her.
He's just that good, anyway. He never misses. And he certainly never misses Daredevil's misses.
I just hate the fact that Bendis made it so he had a child with another. Daredevil technically has a son in the 616.
Christ, yeah, that's touching.
Mike Murdock.
That's the guy. That's our Mike.
It's like, in superhero movie with the bums like, thanks for the loan. That's like Mike Murdock to us, and we just do like that thumbs up back.
Yeah. So next week then, Isle of Joy, or maybe Let the Devil Out, or maybe whatever the other one was called.
Straight to Hell, or like
Straight
Art for Art's Sake.
That was an Art for Art's Sake. I still think that. Well, see what I don't know.
Is Isle of Joy? Do you reckon when like they go to that dance?
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm like surely the Art for Art's Sake is the big like muse climax.
Oh, it's gotta be, mate. With a name like that.
It's just actually like Kirsten, a day in the life of Kirsten McDuffie, and she's really into painting.
Wouldn't surprise me after that shit episode 5, mate.
A day in the life of Kingpin when he gets cucked. I want to see when he found out. Like, I want to see like how distraught he was.
Right, imagine you're in your house, like the day after. You knock at your door. Right? Go to your door. It's the kingpin of fucking crime accusing you of fucking his wife. Now, even more terrifying, yeah. It's the 2003 kingpin.
No, you
What
hear the
is this?
doorbell, or instead of the doorbell, all you hear is outside is dun 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 dun. He's like, what is that? As soon as you open the door, I'm an outlaw.
That is, even the man without fear would shit himself.